ladies and gentlemen, we've got Final Fantasy Mystic Quest with your runner Zombie Punk TV. He's going to be doing a great job for us today, doing an any percent category. I personally know a little bit about this myself. I'm actually going to be on his couch today doing some commentary for him and helping him out. But I'm going to let Zombie Punk take the floor and do what he knows to do best. So take it away, Zombie.
Hello, everybody. I am Zombie Punk TV, and this is Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. If you are not familiar with this game, if you've never played it before, it is not your normal Final Fantasy game. In that, I guess what it was Square decided it wasn't quite. They weren't quite confident that the Western audience could handle a full-blown JRPG. So they made this, and it is, I have used the term several times, Babby's first RPG, because it is very simplistic in nature, very bare bones, and despite the fact that the RNG is merciless, it is in its own way forgiving. If you die, it doesn't send you back to a save spot, it lets you start the fight over. So, in that regard, it's pretty forgiving, but also at the same time, the story is a little bit on the bland side, so we'll get into that part a little bit later. Do we know what the donation incentive winner was for the name?
Yes, that name was Pancakes.
Pancakes. Yes. Wonderful. Wonderful. So we got Pancakes. The canon name for the main character is Benjamin, and you may hear me refer to him as such from time to time. But for our purposes, this is the Saga of Pancakes. And like I said, the standard story of this game is pretty bare bones. There's this great evil in the world. Collect 4 crystals and then go beat Big Baddie. And that is literally the story of the game. But see, this time we're gonna do something a little bit different. But I'm ready to go if everyone else is. So we're gonna kick this bad boy off in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, we're gonna get started here. We're up on a mountain as it's falling down. We see this old man here. This is actually the ghost of our dead grandpa. You see, he borrowed $5 from us years ago for a cup of coffee. He never paid that $5 back, so what I'm doing here is I'm climbing up this mountain because, hey, I want my $5 back. And he's being a little bit hesitant to the details, so to speak. So we're going to chase him down a little bit. But he tries to do the old bait and switch. Says, hey, look, what's that over there? Take a look at that. And apparently summons a monster on us. So we're going to take care of that real quick.
And for some reason, I think Uncle thinks thinks the coffee will make his legs grow back, because never had legs.
Yeah, never did. Never did have legs. And that was actually a really, really nice quick behemoth there. Got a crit off, so that helped out quite a bit. That fight can be very much merciless. There's been several times where I've died repeatedly to that first little boss there.
That's the literal first reset moment. You jump into that all the time, and you'll miss, die, and just go, why did that happen?
We'll go hot pink for the chat box today. Gonna swing on over here. Now, granddad there, or uncle, did I say granddad or uncle? I've already forgotten what I've said. It's grandpa. Grandpa's $5. But he said to get through this forest, we need to find a lumberjack, and told us to go to this nearby town. So we're going to hunt around for a lumberjack. There's no lumberjack back here, just a book. Can't really chop down trees with a book, so we're going to continue looking around and try to find us a lumberjack. Check over here in this house. Maybe there's someone over here that can help us out with this particular issue. Ask her, hey, do you know a lumberjack? Apparently, she's one, which is fine. Women can be lumberjacks, too. We are very much welcoming here in this world. So,
and I love what Insanity says here. Note to everyone, if your grandpa steals $5, then do $100 million worth of damage to a mountain.
Pretty much.
I exaggerated a little bit. He didn't say 100 million.
But he's also not incorrect. Alright, so she's helped us out there with the axe. We're going to hop right on into it. You can see here, this combat is extremely simplistic in nature. However, like I said, it can be very RNG heavy. I'm gonna mash on through this part here and get through these fights as quickly as possible. And of course I miss.
Yeah, the first few fights with Pancakes as the main character, he misses a lot. He's kind of useless in the beginning.
Very much so.
About as useless as Waffle House Pancakes. don't sponsor us, Waffle House. I'm kidding.
I'm honestly astonished that Pancakes is still alive after 2 of these fights. Typically he dies, like, just part of the way through. But not this time. We're gonna get up here. Our Kylie the Lumberjack's gonna chop this down, but she's already really tired, so she's gonna try to lay down and take a nap. Like, hey, don't sleep now. We got this big old Minotaur to deal with. Apparently, though, the Minotaur is undead, because I'm literally gonna defend here, and Kylie's going to use life on the Minotaur, and goodbye, Minotaur.
So, Sarah Barron has discovered the joke of the name of Pancakes. You can thank Midnight Vesper for this. Why? Because reasons.
Alright, so we're going to head in here to the Sand Temple. We're going to meet our next character. Kylie had to go home and rest. Like I said, it's really tough work chopping down trees. So we're going to maybe try to find her like some an energy drink or something that can just perk her up a little bit. There's no energy drink here, but this fella comes along here. Now, do not be fooled. It's going to say his name is Tristram. His name is not Tristram. This is Ninja Steve. And Ninja Steve is going to show us where we can find ourselves an energy drink.
Yeah, Ninja Steve is also really, really useless.
Oh, very much so.
Never trust him with your kids.
No. I'm going to go ahead and one of the details of the combat system, you see there at the bottom right where it says auto next to Ninja Steve's fake name. You can put your party members on auto or manual. If it's on manual, you get to choose their attacks. If it's on auto, they'll do all the dirty work for you. In here, literally, all I need Tristan to do is throw ninja stars. Or all I need to do is... Ninja Steve's going to be throwing ninja stars. That's it. So, that will be all he does, for the most part, in this. He's going to show us the joy of explosive and sell us some. We're going to gladly buy them and move on along.
So, the reason why you're seeing a lot of health at level 7 and things like that and all these defenses, the very beginning of the game, we set up a glitch where you actually will start the game at the end of the game, and then you'll just reset your system. You can do it on your emulators, and you can do it also on what Zombie's doing, which I don't know if we're able to say what it is, but we can do different systems.
Well, yeah, we are. I mean, I'm pretty sure they don't mind. I am using an SNES Classic, which is using the God, what's it? RetroArch. So,
yeah.
So it's essentially the same thing as emulation. It just seems to be a little bit more stable than me having an actual emulator on the computer. And plus, I get to use actual computer.
Which helps a lot. It really does.
Oh no, I went too high. Fine.
Also, all these he's gonna end up going into all these fights. If he sees any 3 fights, any of them that have 3 enemies, he's gonna run.
Yes.
You're not equipped to be able to handle any of these 3 fights at this time.
Well, I mean, I am, but I don't want to because they take too long. It's quicker to just run away. As you saw right there, and hopefully not again. There we go. Now you're also.
I just like to say you're not equipped.
There we go. So you're going to see me quite a bit using bombs early on, and that is even though bombs may not necessarily be the strongest option, despite the fact that Pancakes is extremely weak early on. Bombs never miss. It doesn't matter if I'm blinded or what; they will never miss, and they're just in general a pretty nice AOE to have. You know. Go down through here. Ninja Steve is telling us that this energy drink is on deeper down here. I'm really starting to wonder if he's lying to me. Skeletons down here, minotaurs, gigantic worms. I'm like, Ninja Steve, where have you brought us?
Ninja Steve lie? Never. He would never betray the faith of the family. He understands what $5 means to this family and the coffee.
Exactly. Now, you saw me pick up some seeds there. Now, what these are very, very important to the early parts of this game. Seeds will restore casts. The spell system in this game is very much D&D-esque, where you only have so many casts of a certain type of spell, and seeds will restore those casts. Now, there's not a whole lot of glitches in this game, but the ones we do use are pretty substantial, and what I'm essentially about to do right here is I'm not going to fight. Instead, I'm going to... Oh! Help fight. Oh, Ninja Steel off auto. Alright. Make sure... Okay. So there's a little glitch here where I'm prepping to use the item, but then I'm running away before I'm actually using it. Now I'm taking it slow just to be safe. And what it's doing is it's duplicating the item. I want to have normally, I believe it's 7 of these things. I'm going to make a few extra just for safety's sake for the marathon.
Yeah, usually you want about maybe 7 or 8, so that way at the end of one of these sections, the ice cavern or the ice pyramid or whatever it's called, I don't know the actual names of some of these places, I just run through them and beat places, but you want to make sure you run out at the very end when you go to the boss, so.
Alright, that's 9, that should be plenty. Actually, I'm not sure why I killed him. I forgot that I can jump over that.
Thank you, Ultima Mantoid, for that luck. We do appreciate that.
Believe you me, luck will be needed. It doesn't seem like it right now, but this is RNG the game. You will see why it is referred to as such not very long from now. Believe you me, it gets pretty wacky pretty quick. But coming up ahead, we have our first big bad boss. Go up here and just go ahead and blow one of these seeds right here. So, this guy, I'm just gonna cure him to death. Or to life? How does this work?
Bring me to life. Thank you, Evanescence.
Oh, nope. Yep. Ninja Steve on manual for this.
Yeah, the RNG is rough in this game. It's rough. It is mean, but at the same time, it's still forgiving. You get to start the fight. I mean, it could start you at the beginning of the dungeon. Let's face it. Every other game we've ever played starts you at the beginning of the dungeon.
True. I wasted a life there a second ago. Wasn't paying attention.
I mean, like, come on, Link to the Past. You die at the boss, and it's like, nope, back to the beginning with ye.
Yeah, that's true. Do you mind, Skullorus Rex? Do you mind? I would really appreciate it if you would just go ahead and die right about now.
Yeah. First taste of boss RNG right here.
Oh, and it's not looking good. I just ran out of lives on Tristram, so... And he not... one of the things you'll notice is the enemy sprites do actually change. So,
that's actually a nifty feature of this game. It'll show you, you know, about where they're at. You get an idea of how much health they have.
There we go. So that's first boss taken care of. This strange glowing rock's gonna appear. We have no idea what it's for. And Mommy and Daddy always told me, when you see strange things, never touch them. So I'm actually not even gonna grab this thing. I'm just gonna leave it exactly where it is. Fun fact, I'm not doing that for the speedrun. You actually don't collect these things throughout the main game. They just show up. That's it.
I don't get that. They just show up and you're just like, hey, look, I did a thing, and you walk away.
It turns out Ninja Steve had an energy drink on him the whole time, and actually just wanted to come down here and loot the treasures here, so I'm feeling rather used right now. Regardless, I'm going to go ahead and take this energy drink back to Kylie the Lumberjack. Hey, Lumberjill? Sure. We're going to get this on back to her and continue on with our quest. Granddad said we had to get through that forest and then go through a particular tower, and that we could possibly find the missing $5 over there. So we're gonna look into it a little bit more here shortly.
Yeah, and again, this is why Ninja Steve is not good with your kids, because he's like, hey kid, what are you doing here? Let's go searching for stuff, and then just lets you jump over a couple of rocks and then leaves you immediately in a dungeon with a bunch of bad enemies.
Exactly. Not a very trustworthy individual, man. Not at all. Yeah, he just went and grabbed a grappling hook and left. Stand it, man. I don't understand people. This is why I have trust issues. Go blow up this random pile of bones.
Because
no
of
goodness.
random Final Fantasy Mystic Quest games, that's why you have trust issues?
Among other reasons. So, the game intends for you to fight your way out of here if you did not fight your way in. Nah, let's not. Gonna climb out of here with clever jumps. Alright. For some reason, the forest is green again. We're not sure why. Maybe it had something to do with that weird undead T-Rex we just played with. Alright, so we gave Kylie the energy drink. She's going to be feeling a little bit better here before too long. Right as rain, she will. And we're going to go ahead and dip out and head to that tower.
And to let you know, so he picked up those cure potions right there. There's a reason for that. You'll find out later.
Just to give you a general idea, there is a... also, fun fact, if you talk to him right there, which we don't actually have to talk to him to progress the story, but if you talk to him right there, legitimately, he does ask for money for coffee. That's kind of where I got the idea for this silly story. But as far as the items go, later on, if anyone's at all familiar with a lot of the speedruns for Pokemon, a lot of the glitches in Pokemon deal with underflowing your inventory. This game has a similar glitch where we're going to be underflowing our inventory to cause certain things to happen with the game. And to properly underflow it the way that we need our items set in a certain pattern in our inventory. But like I said, we'll get to that a little bit later. This right here is Phoebe. Asked her, if she's seen $5 laying around somewhere. She's kind of looking at us weird like we're crazy. She has an issue that needs to get taken care of, though, and wants to know if we'll help her out. And if we help her out, she'll help us find the $5. Hey, why not? She seems quite a bit more trustworthy than Ninja Steve was.
There's a trend amongst these quote-unquote helpers. They use you over and over again.
Fun fact, there is no speed difference between jumping and moving, so you'll see me jump a lot because it's fun, and I like the noise.
You like the noise.
I do. Alrighty. So, a lot of this is going to be clever usage of spells to get through these really quickly. Phoebe is an excellent mage. And because of such, we can whittle through these enemies very, very quickly.
And she's such an excellent mage that she also decides to let you just, sit there with a wonderful grappling or claw in her hand, and she's like, yeah, I've got a claw. Yeah. Oh, wait, you could probably use that, couldn't you?
I don't know what you're talking about. We may or may not see that here in just a little bit. Get rid of those little worms there with a quick quake. There is, here we're going to see the delightful use of the claw. I fell all that distance, but I promise you, I'm still alive and not a little bit damaged. But, forgot where I was going with that joke. Never mind. Continuing on. Just gonna continue going through here lighting hedgehogs on fire because that's what you do. Yeah, the claw allows us to climb up walls as such. All the weapons do have overworld uses. So, they're typically pretty handy to have around in various situations.
Yeah, axe will chop down trees. All the weapons that are given to you as the main character, in this case being pancakes. So the axe will cut down trees. The claw will help you climb. Later you'll see like hook shot, you know, because Ninja Steve decides to possibly come back and make amends.
He's never actually going to make amends. You know, there's always got to be something in it for Ninja Steve. Good, good. Alright, so take her off manual, or off auto. Guys, a big part of this speedrun is learning how to handle each individual encounter. And since the encounters can be randomized, you have a very limited knowledge base of what's actually going to happen. This one, I believe... This. Memory serves correctly.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Every single encounter has one way or another to take care of it fast. And honestly, you can end up taking a long time taking care of misses and things like that if you don't use the right stuff. Like using lightning at the right time, keeping up with your seeds, all that kind of stuff. It helps.
Helps a lot. And then there's the menuing. The menuing is honestly where the biggest portion of your time save is going to come from beyond RNG, obviously. Because learning how to menu fast, and also the menu will save where you last were, so kind of keeping it in the back of your mind where you were in the menus so that you can get through it quicker is a really big portion of learning how to save time.
It ends up adding up to minutes over time.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially when it comes to just going up instead of down and realizing, oh, well, now I just had to hit down twice. Because
exactly.
Going to white magic over what is it? There's white, black, and...
There's white, black, wizard...
That's right.
Yeah,
wizard.
It's white, black, and wizard. That's it.
I always forget wizard. Like, wizard just doesn't sound right to me for some reason.
I had to double check my spells and make sure that I was on track still.
And I agree.
That's a big thing, is remembering how many spell casts you have left so you know when to use a seed.
Yeah, I agree, Sarah Baron. It does have a serious learning curve. This game is not... It's Babby's first RPG, but at the same time...
It is not Babby's first speedrun.
No, it is
not by a mile.
And you know, I'll take this moment to go ahead and give a huge shout out to the world record holder of this, El Magus, who did the walkthrough. The walkthrough is really well put together.
Oh yes. If anyone at all is looking to learn how to speedrun this game, I would beg you to, read up on his guide and join the Discord community. Both the guide and the community are endlessly helpful with this.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely. And it's a fun speedrun. It is a really fun speedrun to do. It can get frustrating because of the RNG aspects, but it's a definite interesting learn. It's one of the ones that actually brought me into doing speedrunning. So, and Zombie is my what would you call it? Mentor?
Maybe. I'm something. Alright, Pancakes here because Pancakes just took a beating in that opening. So this is our second boss of the game, kind of a mini boss really. This little delightful bit of calamari that I loathe because this fight can go quick or it can just drag, depending on that right there happening where I have to stop and heal Pancakes because this guy just really wants to mollywop me. It's gonna be one of those nights, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm actually watching this on a slight delay. I'm listening to Zombie in Discord.
But he already knows the pain that I'm going through just from the sound of my voice.
Yeah, like, I know what's coming and I know what's happening, and I'm sitting there waiting for it to show up, and then I see hit 8 times, and I'm like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
But Squid Billy does die. It's okay.
Yup. And he just did. There we go. So we got this Libra crest. We're not quite sure what's going on with that, but Phoebe's insistent that it's important to what's going on in general. Something about, this place not normally being iced over the way it is. It's supposed to be this lush, green, wonderful land, and she wants to return it to such, but she needs some sort of special water, some weirdness like that, that's apparently going to bring the green back. And that's not me making some sort of silly part of my made-up story. That's actually the game's plot.
Yeah, scarily enough, his funny made-up story is not too far from the actual plot of the game. It just happens to be better.
Better because it's silly.
Better because it involves coffee. Who doesn't like coffee?
Oh, I know. Push through here. We're going to go back to where we first met Phoebe. That's apparently where we need to use the Libra crest. And it's going to allow us to take this teleport. Alright. Apparently that fancy water she needs is gone. Check out up here and... Grandpa, what are you doing here? So, turns out Grandpa is like, hey, guess what? I've looked around. The $5 isn't here. I think my brother may have your $5. Now, I'm not quite sure where my brother's at, and ergo, like my other grandpa. Would that be a grandpa or would that be an uncle? I'm not quite sure how that. And so,
Great uncle?
Yeah, great uncle. I guess that would be it. A grunkle, if you will.
And a not so great uncle.
Yeah, not so great uncle apparently has the $5 that my grandfather was supposed to get back to me. That's going to come back into play later. We'd figure, you know what? If it's not here, fine. We're at the very least, we're still going to help Phoebe with her plight of restoring this place to whatever it's supposed to be.
Because we're good people, and that's what we do.
Okay, let me see here. Yeah, we got. Right. So here we're going to be fighting one of my favorite enemies in the game, the Sahagan type of enemy. I say type because a lot of enemies later on in the game are just recolors of initial enemies you come through. But I love these guys because their death animations or their final, the final damage animation. If you'll pay attention as I kill them here, they seem very shocked at their current predicament. Just they're not quite sure what to make of what's going on.
Why did you do this to us?
Reasons. Reasons are why I did this to you.
Just like pancakes.
Absolutely. Alright.
This is actually one of my favorite little rooms in the whole game. One, because the solution doesn't seem like cheese, but it actually is.
Yeah. What you're about to see is me putting these pillars, because obviously I'm using the pillars to jump across gaps. But I'm going to put these pillars in a certain way that puts me directly to the end boss that was not intended. I'm in fact skipping an entire portion of this entire dungeon that was not intended by the developers, I do not believe. But it just so happens to work. And in fact, the way that the sprites are laid out, it actually even looks as though it shouldn't work, but yet it does.
Yeah, that's what it's so simple, and that's one of the reasons I love this room. I it's such an interesting puzzle that I think probably was found way long ago when, you know, the internet really wasn't a thing, you know?
Yeah, you look at that, it's like, I don't think that's how that works. But strangely enough, it is. Across here, I'm going to grab this heal spell for backup. I'm going to get BB back up and running health-wise, and we're going to fight this big old crab! Alright, so some bombs, some fireballs, and the world is a better place.
And this game also surrounds itself with explosives.
Oh, very much so. Oh, good. I'm confused. I enjoy that.
We know you're confused, Zombie. It's okay.
What is Pancakes gonna do? Pancakes does what I wanted him to do anyway. Haha! Joke's on you, Krabby Boy. I win today. Don't do that. Oh.
Who's confused? You are.
Until Pancakes blows himself straight to Hades. It's because I talk smack. It's exactly why that happened.
Yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbles, though. Or in this case, that's the way the pancakes become themselves.
That's the way the pancakes crepe? Oh, no.
It's they're like little French pancakes, so the crepes.
Sure.
And the fact that everybody's forced to use a dash in between pancakes that's absolutely hilarious to me.
That is outstanding.
Oh, man.
Alright. That crab went really well. Whoopsie.
And you'll notice a lot of accidental bomb drops. I don't even have to ask.
You don't even have to see it yet to know what I did. Yes. You didn't even need to see it to know exactly what I did. It's okay. After I'm finished with this little area here, you're actually not going to see me use bombs very much anymore after this particular dungeon. This is another little item I'm picking up right here that serves the purpose of setting up our underflow later.
Yeah, and you'll notice that there's going to be some seemingly random encounters in this dungeon. That's not the case at all.
No, it's actually not. What looks to be random encounters is actually static encounters. See, the thing is, this particular dungeon has a effect where all the enemies are invisible, and in fact, you're supposed to go to the right-hand side of this first floor to find a mirror that lets you see all the enemies. Well, I already know my way around this dungeon pretty well, and therefore I really don't need to see where the enemies are. I already know my pathing through here.
Yeah, and I mean, even in the vanilla game, that mirror is kind of useless. You really don't need to know where the enemies are.
Not at all.
Oh, there's the Haggans.
I can never remember if she'll automatically lightning all of the Lumias. I believe she will, but I'm manually.
It's actually a good question.
I do not want to waste spells here. Even though I did make extra seeds just for that reason, I still don't want it.
Yeah, the auto manual function of this, you would think, would be a little bit better, especially with as optimized as a speedrun is. Mm-hmm. It's really not. No. There's so many times I've had runs just completely fall to crap because of auto using up my items and messing up the underflow glitch.
Yeah, like in our practice runs last week, there were several cases where, like I said, you need those items in a certain spot to do the underflow, and the teammates like to use those items. So it kind of becomes an issue.
Yeah, they'll use your heal potions if you're blind or confused or whatever. They'll just... Because auto doesn't actually use what I guess you would consider an ATB meter. It just does what the most quote-unquote useful function is. So it'll basically put at the topmost function a heal or a cure, something to that effect. It'll make sure that you survive.
Yeah, because the AI for the party member is set in a way to where they prioritize Pancake's existence. Whether you want it to be that way or not, because believe you me, there's several situations where it absolutely is best for Pancakes just to be dead and gone.
Yes, and plenty of occasions.
These birds right here are the bane of our existence in this particular dungeon. I would say that they are probably the most aggravating thing in the whole dungeon. And the reason for that is... I just need to have her defend. The entire reason for that is they have the ability to petrify you. And neither of your party members will have immunity from petrification until the very end of the game. You can take an alternate route in order for the main character to get a shield that will give them protection from petrification, but you can never have your secondary party member completely immune to petrification.
Which in the speedrun is very unfortunate, because if they ever get petrified, like, you have heal to be able to cure that, but with Pancakes, the main character, being just exponentially weaker than your secondary character, you can get behind easily.
Yeah, and if both characters get petrified, it's game over.
Yep.
Well, not game over, it's end of the fight. Like I mentioned earlier, you can just start the fight. And believe you me, I am not that lucky that you will not see that happen at some point this run. There will be a point in time during this run where I am going to party wipe and we're going to do the fight all over again.
Yep,
and
probably more than once.
Oh, yes. As you saw right there, Phoebe just killed me, and I really hope she... Really got to be careful about that, and she... We'll waste more bombs. It's fine, Phoebe. That's the way you want to play it. Okay, no, she's not using it.
Yeah, as long as you still have one of those potions.
Yeah,
you don't exactly have to have 3.
Yeah, you just need one of everything to be safe. Now that mage is probably going to heal either himself or the bird. Either way, it doesn't matter. No, he's gonna cast Blizzard. That's fine.
That's lucky.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Because no matter which way it goes, it'll still end in that turn. Whether he heals the bird or heals himself. If he heals the bird, Phoebe one-shots the birds even at full health. And if he heals himself, the bombs will kill him even at full health. I did the thing again. Oh well. Phoebe's got plenty of arrows.
Yeah, you'll never run out of arrows.
It just saves a few frames on the animation to have her defend.
Yep. Yeah, because the beholders here die in one hit to bombs.
Yep. Having the party member defend essentially just negates their turn. You don't have to see their animation, but it also guarantees that any attacks performed, instead of hitting Pancakes, if someone was to target Pancakes, it'll hit them instead. And since your party members are infinitely tankier than you are, that can help out quite a bit.
Yeah, strategic defending is a very useful thing. Which is
boy.
another... Oh yeah, these birds, man. Hate the birds.
I still haven't gotten petrified. There's one more fight with them before the end of this dungeon. So... if I can get through this whole place without getting petrified, I'll call that a win any day of the week.
Yeah, hands down. Well, we know how old Ice Giant works out, though, man. He's a pain in the butt too.
Honestly, my last few ice golems have been exceptionally forgiving.
I remember seeing both of those.
Yeah. Very, very, very nice ice golems, the last few that I've done. Alright, and this should be one of my other very much hated enemies. Boom! Now, funny thing about this, these guys though, is I can once again use life on them like I did that Minotaur at the beginning of the game, and goodbye.
Yeah, life is one of the most powerful spells in this game, which is
one of the most powerful you're going to see after I finish up with this pyramid. And it's hilarious. Alright, this will be this is the last bird fight, so...
This is another one of those enemies that actually cracks me up, though, when you use life on them. The Sphinx, it's like they get mad because you gave them a life.
Yeah, I know, right?
How dare you give me a life?
Oh no! And there's Phoebe using life on me. That's taken up quite a bit of time. I expect them to use Petrify here very, very soon. Or not. Okay, wow. A Petrifyless ice pyramid. I will take it.
Yeah, luck be a you tonight. I like it.
Yeah. By the way, for you, right here, heal potion.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
You're absolutely welcome.
The last 2 runs I've done, I didn't get to complete my run because I forgot to pick up those heal potions both times.
Which are absolutely vital to doing the underflow.
Yes.
Now, I remember we did find a backup strategy of where to pick up healing potions. I just can't remember.
They're in the actual town.
Okay.
The reason why I didn't get them or even think of the backup strat is because I already did the underflow. I actually did the underflow thinking I had everything I needed.
I remember that.
Yeah, so you feel kind of dumb after taking a break of running this dungeon as often as you are running the game as often as you have, and just be like, I completely forgot an entire part to beat the game.
Yeah.
Let alone, yeah. So.
All
the
right,
most.
so,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say this dungeon is just about over. It feels like one of the longest dungeons in this game, but it really isn't. The longest dungeon actually belongs to. It all depends on your RNG. You get good RNG in Pazuzu's Tower. Actually, the living tree is longer. Pazuzu's Tower. You get bad RNG in Pazuzu's Tower. It is longer, guaranteed.
Yeah, the biggest variable is Pazuzu's Tower.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's see how this goes now. Phoebe missed her bow shot. Oh no!
Oh no.
This has gone very bad. Very, very, very bad.
I'm very badly burned. Oh no!
Good, Phoebe. Heal yourself. That's great. We do not have an emergency here with a petrification chicken.
Oh man.
There we go.
Still no petrify though.
No, none. I'm shocked.
Dude, I'm blown away. That was probably the last chance of a chicken taking a good bite out of you, and they didn't do it.
No, they sure didn't. Oh no. Forgot to use this. That's what I'm talking about. You got to keep that track in your mind. Unfortunately, as Unknown here knows very all too well, I have this horrible thing where I actually cannot focus my brain while I'm talking to people. Like, I go brain dead when I'm talking. Which, I enjoy talking just as much as I enjoy speedrunning, so it's something I deal with.
It happens.
Alright, so I got 3 bombs left, and I gotta make this count in these areas coming up. So.
That's another thing about the speedrun of this particular game, too. Bomb management is something both of us are working on. Being able to walk out of here without having to grab the safety bombs is...
It's RNG related, mostly, because you have issues with fights, where if you... had just certain combinations of enemies where you had to use bombs, then, I mean, you're going to end up in the situation that I'm in. Luckily, though, like, normally you're supposed to use bombs on the boss that you were about to come up and fight. However, there is a backup strategy where if you pick up the fire spell, you can use that instead. That's exactly what I did, is I picked up fire. Hey, you saw that too, right?
I will probably see it in just a minute.
The bomb did less damage to one of them for whatever reason.
What? Wait, what? I've never seen that.
Me neither. So never have I ever seen that before. So that's something.
That's weird.
All right, so we are going to cure ourselves up to full seeds, and here we go. I'm going to switch over to the claw because the claw actually boosts your spell power, and we're going to light this big boy on fire.
That's just really strange. I
know it's. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. Like, what exactly happened there?
I'm baffled because like it's literally consistent damage every single time.
Yeah. It's supposed to be spread evenly. I have no idea what happened.
And that was significantly different too. That wasn't just like, you know, a couple points different. Like it was like one point different. No, that was like 93 to 153. That was really weird.
Truth be told, I should have cured both parties there, but I didn't.
Yeah, sometimes you take a chance. It's okay.
But this fight's going decently smooth. As long as he doesn't do his self-heal spam here in a second, we should be looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I have it in my mouth.
There are some enemies and bosses in this game that do have a sap move. Luckily, they aren't as effective in the speedrun because of the beginning glitch that you do, but later on, some of the enemies that hit the secondary party member, whether it be Phoebe or whoever, they literally will kill themselves because Phoebe actually gets healed when they do the sap move. or whoever it is that's in your party will actually get healed. It's actually really funny to see. But in this instance, of course, the boss does enough damage and they will heal themselves only by 200, but it's still enough to offset quite a bit and be annoying.
Alright. There is the ice golem done and gone. So, with the ice golem defeated, the eternal winter that has plagued this land is finally over. Phoebe is going to be eternally grateful. Once again, one of those weird stones have just shown up for no particularly good reason. There it is. Once again, we're just going to kind of ignore it.
Oh look, floating stone. I'm gonna fall now. I'm just gonna go.
I'm just gonna jump off this ledge. For no reason.
For no apparent reason. And again, the party member's just like, well, thanks for the help.
Yeah.
Peace out, yo.
Thanks for doing my job for me. Bye. And yeah, that was a fairly generous ice golem. Few hiccups there. He did that self heal, which threw me off a little bit, and he also got a. I was gonna try to do a party heal, and normally Phoebe will always go before the enemies early in game, and for some reason that golem got to go before Phoebe. That's the backup bombs we mentioned a second ago. Doesn't really lose that much time to pick them up, but still, if you don't have to, all the better.
Yeah, this one's on the way. There's another set of bombs you can get to over by where we're headed now, which is the fight to get the most powerful spell in the game. So there's a couple spots you can grab them from. Now, one thing you need to keep in mind, though, is any party member that has a weapon that has a expendable, like Ninja Steve's Ninja Stars, or Phoebe's
arrows.
bow and arrows, that chest that has bombs in them will turn into the partner's expendables. So you can't pick up that chest prior to letting the party member leave.
Exactly. And here's where the RNG starts to really kick into gear. So I've got to get through 10 of these fights. I only want to fight a squid. So if I get a squid and a sphinx, gotta run.
If you ever played that game Past the Pigs, this is roll for squids.
You're rolling for squids.
And every once in a while, you'll get a really good run where you get 11 to 10. Every once in a while, you'll see 10 out of 10. But
if your name is El Magus, you can get 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Honestly, Ice Golem was pretty decent, but that entire ice tower or whatever ice pyramid was really generous.
Yeah, it was. There were certain combinations which, like I said, forced me to use bombs a bit more than I would have liked, but they still all went really smooth. The fact that I'm sitting here 48 minutes in or 49 minutes in or so, and I have yet to die and have to restart a fight is really good.
Yeah, it's really nice. And since we're getting through this 10 times the RNG split here, we're going to be getting a spell called Exit. This game was programmed so fantastically well that the Exit spell, which not only lets you leave pretty much any dungeon or
you're knee deep in a dungeon and you just want to get out, well, you cast Exit and it puts you back on the world map. Cool.
Yeah. Put you right back at the beginning.
If you're in combat and you use Exit, you get to target an enemy with it. And if you target an enemy with Exit, it literally exits them from reality.
Yes, completely.
There are very few enemies that Exit does not work on. It does not work on undead. Well, no, it does. No, it works on some undead. I'm trying to remember exactly what enemies it doesn't work on. I can't recall. I know there's some.
There is the only enemies that it doesn't work on are the ones that you can't cast anything on, and that's like the I think they're actually called
the beholders in Pazuzu's Tower. Yeah, there's beholders. There's the metal slimes in Living Tree.
Yeah, those are the only ones that it doesn't work on. It has a chance to miss. That's really the major problem, is that it will miss from time to time.
Yeah.
But for the most part, no, it works on anything other than the ones that are just resistant to magic, period. So,
here's Grandpa again, just letting us know, hey, good luck on hunting down that old pesky brother of mine. I hear he has a castle somewhere underneath the ground. That's really all I can tell you. Maybe somewhere underneath this tower. Who knows?
But I swear, he has that $5.
Yeah, I promise you, he's got it. He's got it.
And we're headed to a place that I have dubbed Fberg, because
the place is actually called Fireberg, but it definitely has other colorful nicknames.
Yes, I've dubbed it such because F that place. That's exactly what we say.
Yup. It is a section of the game, if you're playing through casually, that is long and arduous at times. There's definitely a dungeon there, the final dungeon, that is just labyrinthian in nature. I remember your casual playthrough took you forever to get through.
It was awful. It was awful. But I will say this. The only unfortunate thing about the speedrun, it's got the best music.
Oh, absolutely.
This area has the best music. Not only the town has great music.
Real quick. So, I want to take these last two seeds I have here, and actually I'm going to go ahead and just heal myself up. We're going to use these two seeds. So now my inventory is blank. I'm just going to take a second here to explain kind of how this thing works. So, I now have an empty slot. Now, when you pick up these 4 consumables, these are the only consumables in the game. The rest of this is, like, actual story items. When you pick them up, it goes into the first empty slot. So these 4 can go in kind of any order. seeds were first, I killed the seeds. Now I can go over to this person who sells seeds, and due to some reasoning in the coding, I can buy 0. And literally, I now have 0. When I use 0, it underflows, turning this into a coin, which does absolutely nothing except for soft lock your game if you use combat. And now I have actually 256 seeds. It says 99 because that's as high as that thing goes. And then I'm going to come over here to Granny. Now, I don't have any potions anymore, but I'm going to buy 19 of these. Now, potions have nowhere to go because my 4 slots are full. So when I buy these, it's actually going to change the makeup of the rest of my items. You notice a lot of these things went missing. The 2 coins down here that have gone, I've already used them. No harm, no foul. The items that were here, I'm past those points in the story. I don't need them. What it has given me are all the items that I need to finish the game. Also, I should have exited. There we go.
And that's another time save too. Remembering to exit
instead of
like,
walk out. Yeah.
It's.
I got caught up with explaining that glitch, that underflow glitch there.
And props for literally saving no time by exiting 2 steps away from the exit.
I wanted to use it.
I know.
Can't stop me. I am the master of my own destiny.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah, exactly. So just because I am really low on bombs, normally I would ignore these. I'm going to go ahead and grab them anyway just to be safe. Pretty sure I'm still going to have plenty of bombs to get through the rest of the game. For the most part, now that I have exit, and I've got an unlimited supply of seeds, Pancakes is about to go from Mad Bomber to Mage really quickly. Now this is a funny part right here. Now since we skipped Fireberg, we skipped picking up a character named Ruben, but for some reason he's here, just with us. Why not? And he gets thrown off the bridge. Goodbye, Ruben. And so with this guy, instead of fighting him, I'm just going to get put to sleep apparently and then KO'd. And here we go, our first death and resets. Woo!
Our first death at literally a supposed to be free fight, by the way.
And there's a petrify, so there's 2.
This is probably...
Okay, he did the body slam,
guaranteed.
and there's the exit. There he goes. Goodbye. No damage, no nothing. He's now erased from existence. Alright, so we're going to pop down here and see if Ruben's okay. This complete stranger that we've never met before in our lives. And who shows his filthy face around here? Ninja Steve. Ninja Steve's like, hey, I can help you get through the rest of this forest area here. Come with me. Alright, Ninja Steve, what's in this for you? Oh, nothing, I'm just helping you out, I promise. Alright. Now, since I did not get to this area legitimately, you'll notice there's a lot of clouds. That is not intended. It's just a result of me not finishing the Fireberg area.
It's the Fog of War.
Exactly, it is the Fog of War.
And good thing that we were given that axe earlier, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Lumberjack Kylie has trained us in the ways of lumberjackdom, so we're able to get through here pretty easily.
Did you say lumberjackery?
Lumberjackdom.
Lumberjackdom.
Although lumberjackery works well, I guess.
I'm going to use that from now on. Both lumberjackdom and lumberjackery.
Good. Use it well and in good health.
I shall. And you get to see the amazingness of exit right now. Literally just you know what? Yeah, those ghosts were already dead. Now you just don't exist.
Exactly.
It's like...
And when I'm coming through here with Ninja Steve, I do not want to encounter any, 3 fights at all. They're just way too risky. It is much better to just keep running and go from there. You do not want to fight three things at once here. Because a lot of these things have the capability of confusing and petrifying, and it just becomes an absolute nightmare. So we're going to talk to the Deku Tree. Don't ask why the Deku Tree is in this, and no, I do not know where Link is at. But we realize, hey, we need someone who knows trees. Do we know someone who knows trees? I think I know someone who knows trees. Now,
Navi.
Yes, Navi. Now, turns out, and I'm not sure how Pancakes knows this, turns out Kylie and Phoebe are actually really good friends. And so apparently Kylie's hanging out at Phoebe's place. But when Pancakes sat there and went, who's good with trees, he actually didn't think of Kylie. He thought of Phoebe. Don't ask me why, but we're going to go see Phoebe. Now, we know Phoebe mentioned something about, restoring everything to its nice, lush green looks and having to go in her cellar, which is under her house, which is where we're going right now, to see her father. Apparently her dad lives in her basement, has been there for years, and just will not move out. Just huge pain in her rear end. So we're just going to assume she's down here arguing with her dad because he won't move out of her basement. Also, yes, her basement is huge and has a waterfall. Be envious. Be jealous.
And if you ever want to know how to remove family members, stay tuned.
Oh, yes. The perfect way to evict a family member from your vast labyrinthian cavern basement is coming right up. So, talking to her dad right now, saying, hey, where's Phoebe at? He's like, I don't know, she's hanging around somewhere. And he's just like, hey, Ninja Steve, you want to go treasure hunting? Ninja Steve's like, heck yeah, I want to go treasure hunting. He does feel kind of bad about leaving us, so he's going to give us the Dragon Claw, which is essentially a hook shot, and be on his merry way. And then Phoebe shows up and goes, is my dad still loitering around down here? I told him to leave, and he's like, yeah. So, she just opts to blow the place up. Literally, just went and blew up her basement and caused a massive cave-in. There you go.
Yeah.
That works, right? How you do that? Sure.
And let's also comment on the fact that she runs. She's like, I'm getting out of here. I just blew this place up. And Pancakes is just like, dude, this lady is crazy. What is her problem? You're just casually walking out.
And looks like the lumberjack Kylie was having a sleepover in Phoebe's house. Mentioned to her, he's like, hey, you know much about trees? She's like, dude, yeah, I literally chopped down trees for you earlier. Like, oh yeah, that's right. This giant talking Deku tree dude. I didn't exit again. Oh well. Giant Deku tree talking dude. You want to help me out with him? Sure. So apparently that energy drink really put a pep in Kylie's step. Now instead of just swinging around an axe and casting life, she's become quite the wind mage. And we're going to use that to our advantage in this next dungeon. Pick up some more bombs. That should be plenty for us for the remainder of the run. And I actually want to go down these stairs, but I'm not going to do it just yet. I'm going to set this up to where, because when you exit, it takes you to the last place you were on the overworld. Well, kind of. It takes you to the last way you entered the area that you're currently in. There's a difference later that I'll explain. But I'm going to come down here and go through this area, cue the hard rock music. And we're going to fight this big bad. And we're going to pick up our very own copy of Arrow, which is exceptionally useful spell coming up.
Honestly, I'd argue it's probably the third strongest spell.
Yeah.
It's pretty dang strong. Like, there's other spells, you get like Flare and Meteor and stuff like that. Those are strong, but Arrow really just single target blows everybody away. No pun intended.
Yes, the energy drink also definitely leveled her up a lot. You're seeing the level discrepancy here that really shines a light on how little we've leveled up where we should have.
Yeah. And the way the speedrun is actually done, it's pretty interesting to note that, like, you fight just enough times and just enough fights to gain the levels you need to get through fights successfully. So it's pretty interesting how pretty underleveled you go through this as the main character.
Yeah. And you are going to see that I am, in fact, having to stop and heal quite a bit. And that's going to be a very common occurrence that you're going to see from here on out, that I am going to be healing a fair bit more between fights. Because there's going to be some fights just due to RNG and due to the order that enemies get to go in and who they target. The Pancakes is going to get really knocked around a lot.
He's going to get flattened. Puns. They're great.
Oh god, I just got it. Why?
Welcome to the conversation. Thank you for joining us.
Why would you do this? Alright, so Kylie's gonna talk to the Deku Tree, and the Deku Tree's gonna be like, there's this big one-eyed spider and no wait, wrong game. Just go inside and fix the issues. There's monsters inside of me. Okay, cool. The thing is, this game came out before Ocarina of Time. Obviously, it's an SNES game. But I have to wonder, did Nintendo steal the idea from this? I doubt it. But it'd be funny to think about.
The real question is, did this game come out before, like... Was this game before Final Fantasy 4, technically? The American 2? Because, like, the music in this game is just phenomenal.
Oh, absolutely.
Arguably the best in the Final Fantasy series.
Absolutely.
That makes this
okay, now I just realized that I agreed to that without thinking. I wouldn't say it's the best in the Final Fantasy series, but it is good.
I'm interested to know, what would you put above it?
There's a lot of the music in 8 and 9 that I think is outstanding. And also, I'll be honest that the music from Final Fantasy 15 really blows me away. Granted, I can never remember her name. I feel really bad about that. But she also did the music for Kingdom Hearts and Legend of Mana. Another game I very much enjoy. Just her work in general is outstanding.
Now, though, I will say one thing about the claim that I made is, considering obviously the more you move up the chain, the more technology there is.
Oh, so, there is that, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not going to disagree there.
So with what they had, considering the SNES being what it was, 16-bit sound, man, they did so much.
They did a lot of work with what they had, absolutely. Not disagree there. But while this music is like just really pumped and really awesome, there are definitely other tracks on SNES Final Fantasy that are just really, really good to me. Even to this day, I would say Decisive Battle, the boss music from Final Fantasy VI, is one of my favorite boss themes of all time.
Yeah, well, Final Fantasy VI, like, one of my favorite themes is when Celis is doing the opera. The whole opera scene, getting Setzer, that's some of my favorite music of all time.
Oh,
so, yeah, like, I don't know, man. When it comes to Square games, Square Enix just blew away music when it came to it, man. So
they tend to know what they're doing sometimes.
Till it comes to RNG on Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, thank you.
Hey!
But yeah, actually, that's we're doing Mystic Quest right now. But speaking of great games that are getting remakes, actually, Crystal Chronicles is coming out with a remastered on Switch. That's that's something that's going to be interesting. So,
also, I'm pretty sure I can hear your microphone.
Oh no! That's probably my headset. I tried to put it far away. That's awesome.
It's all good. It's been extremely, extremely light, but that big loud wahey that I just did actually.
Yeah, so that's me having a decent mic and having a really good headset sitting not box far away. So now I'm putting my body in between it.
So we're doing something dangerous here. I just realized I forgot to heal Kylie in between. Nope, she's gone. She's gone. Bye bye, Kylie.
Rip.
All right. Nope. I should have ran.
Yeah, that can happen.
I'll run away and just heal up real quick.
Yeah, it's definitely the best move there. Never feel like you can't run in this game. Like, running does not set you back, really.
No. The only thing you don't want to do is when it says, do you want to give up? If you hit OK, it takes you back to the main menu to let you load your last save. Obviously, during the speed run, I'm not saving.
Yeah. In a casual run, though, you can save anywhere.
Yes, you can. Right there.
That's definitely a thing to keep in mind in a casual run, or even if you're just learning the speed run, if you feel like you might want to do safety saves, stuff like that, you could do that. So,
and there's really nothing forbidding safety saves, even during the actual speedrun. If I wanted to save during this, by all means I could. There's just really no main reason to do it.
Yeah, like it kind of negates the point of a speed run. You really don't.
It negates
game over.
It negates the speed run, but as long as you've gotten to the point where you know where you're going and you know what to pick up and what to do at what points, there is really no reason to reload a save. If you're failing a fight, just trying to fight until you beat it.
Yeah, exactly. Like hitting give up is the only reason to do a safety save. Yeah. So. It's the seahorse of the mythical land. What, trees having trees inside of it? That's... I'm not sure. I don't know what Trisha's talking about with the seahorse of the mythical land. So, but this is the one of the first fights that you're actually seeing this silver slime. You cannot cast anything on that silver slime. I'm not sure what it does. Does it just not work, or does it have like a negative effect?
It reflects it.
Yeah,
that's not want to have happen.
Yeah, reflecting an exit is bad. And you got to see the sap feature that I was talking about. The worm did the sap on Kaylee, and it ended up hurting itself instead of healing.
That is because of the in-game armor glitch that I did before the run started. To further kind of go into detail on that, where I load the game that's already at the end of the game, and then I just reset the console and start a new game. Essentially, you know, when whoever the secondary character is, whether it be Ninja Steve or Ruben or Phoebe or Kylie, they have the stats of the level they're supposed to be at, but their armor is the armor of what Phoebe has at the end of the game. And so because of that, what armors do in this game is not only that they have like your defenses, but they also have resistances to certain elements and resistances to certain status ailments. And one of the status ailments, like see right there, he just used the slime just used the bleach health, the siphon health on Pancakes, and Pancakes ended up dying because of it. Versus, probably should have we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Versus if you did it on Kylie, where Kylie's immune to it, it reverses the effect and just deals damage to Kylie, but also, heals Kylie and ends up damaging the one that did the siphoning. So they're stuttering over my own words while I fail to be able to do things.
Yeah, and that's also why you see certain spells like their own like sand arrow spell or whatever they do, doing massively less damage because she has the.
Well, that also that arrow spell they're casting is actually not arrow; it's a debuff to lower attack or lower defense.
Yeah. All right,
I'm going to dismantle these toads first. For that very reason, they petrify.
All the petrifies. And I do agree, J question mark. More games where you have to get tools to modify the maps to navigate them. I love those. That's another cool feature of this game. It's like every tool that you get from your cohorts and your companions that you find throughout the actual game, they give you more tools to move forward, and that's just really cool.
These frogs can be very, very bad, so I'm trying to get through this as quickly as I can.
Yeah, the frogs are just as bad as the birds, if not worse.
Like I said, this particular dungeon that I'm in can be the longest dungeon of the game, all depending on kind of the enemy formations you get. It can be longer than Pazuzu's Tower. My current best split for this particular split, which runs from when I do the underflow glitch to when I beat the boss of this dungeon that I'm in, is 27 minutes.
Yeah. And on top of that, it's not only the dungeon's RNG of what you get for each formation that can make this dungeon long. You don't immediately exit out of this dungeon.
No, you do not.
So you go back after beating the not Goma boss of this dungeon and get another spell. So it takes even longer. And there's also a cutscene you can't skip. So it takes even longer. Just this dungeon, while not terrible, is my least favorite one doing this particular speedrun.
I agree. Probably is my least favorite as well.
Like, I actually don't mind Pazuzu's Tower as much because it's kind of a... Like, I hate the RNG aspect of Pazuzu's Tower, but it's kind of a puzzle.
Yeah.
Like, I like that puzzle aspect. This one ain't a puzzle. It's just annoying. So...
Alright. Toss seeds around because now I gotta deal with a whole lot of these metal slimes.
And a cool little deal here with these slimes. You can't use spells, so that takes away your most powerful tool. But the claw that you were given by Ninja Steve actually has a effect that it can insta-kill anything.
Yeah, actually the Dragon Claw, like all the claws deal, like every weapon has its own particular bonuses. The sword, I believe, has a faster attack, meaning the hidden kind of speed stat that makes you determine kind of how quickly you go. The sword, I believe, is one of the faster weapons, whereas the axe is the heaviest hitting. The bombs AoE and never miss. And the big thing with the claws increase your magic damage that you do, but also each claw, and there's 3 different types of weapons. There's 3 different weapons for every weapon type in the game. We skipped from the first claw to the last one. The Dragon Claw is the last one you get. Each new claw has a whole bunch of new status ailments that it does on attack. So the Dragon Claw, which is the end game one, actually deals every single status ailment in the game. Has a chance to deal every single status ailment in the game on hit, including death.
Which is kind of funny because what is the point of all the other status ailments if it includes death?
Some things are immune to death.
Very, very true. Yeah. But it's
like right there, the death just triggered on that one.
Yeah, it's almost like the list of side effects may include death.
May include death. But yeah, anytime you see me attack with the claw and you do not see a number pop up, the death status triggered. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of I need to just start attacking the opposite.
Yes.
The opposite one, so I can try to get through this quicker.
Yeah, that was something I was actually going to mention to you on a previous run that I noticed because Kaylee's not always guaranteed to one shot.
Oh no, she cannot one shot these.
Doesn't she have the ability to crit them?
Okay, if she crits, yes.
Yeah. So, but otherwise you're kind of.
But that's only when crit happens.
Yeah, otherwise you're banking on them doing their cure, or it's going to take another turn, or, you got to hope for pancakes to hit.
Disappointed
I did. I didn't hear it.
I said I said you got to bank on crit happens.
Oh man. I don't know who just won the bad pun award. Good lord.
And Jay, I'm not quite sure why it never really caught on with the rest of the SNES era RPGs, where the lower health an enemy is, their sprite changes to denote that they're not feeling so hot.
I mean, in all honesty, it was in Super Metroid. Not exactly the sprite changing like pictures, because obviously it's a dynamic sprite, but
you're referring to the color change.
Yeah, the colors changed and things like that, so there was an indicator that it was lower health. Like that is one thing that I'm kind of, as games developed, like considering Ocarina of Time, there was no indicator that they were lower health, other than they would do a different attack. Like I feel like with Nintendo games in particular, they always found a new way to show you that your encounter was coming to an end because a new phase would happen, or a new attack would happen. Not exactly a phase, but some sort of new attack would happen. Like for instance, Phantom Ganon in Forest Temple.
Yeah,
it's a very rare thing that you see, but he has some sort of like rainbow attack that is like really powerful and dang near a one-shot if you're not careful. But most of the time you would do enough damage to kill him, so.
Now, obviously, I've gotten really good at trying to read through the text that's popping up really, really quickly. Literally, that last claw attack said it was a critical hit and the status ailment's applied.
So, critical death.
Yeah.
That's a good note. And that was a critical miss.
This is a long dungeon to try to talk through because it's a lot of the same, just a lot of these fights repeating over and over and over. But we're just about done. We got this last little bit here with the skeletons. Now, this is a 3-1. I'm not going to run from it, although this one can go badly because we're not going to one-shot them. We got to wait through for pancakes to go through, and these things can confuse, which can just throw a wrench in all of your plans.
Yeah.
But we got through pretty easily. And then we have the not Ghidra fight. Or not. No, it is the Ghidra fight. I am fighting a Ghidra, the not Goma fight.
Yes, the not other G-name fight. And the Indiana Joe coming in saying, well, hey there, Mr. Masochist. I see you're running Mystic Quest.
Indeed. That is what we do. But we're going to get rid of these skeletons ASAP. As I said, they can confuse, and I also believe they can either petrify or sleep, or paralyze, what they also do. I don't want any of that, so I'm getting rid of them ASAP. And then we're just going to sit here and beat this Ghidra, Chimera, whatever you want to call it, over the head with arrow until the end of time.
Yeah. Honestly, once you get rid of the skulls. Thanks, Steel and Bread. Appreciate the good luck, man. That's definitely what we need for RPG the game. Or RPG the game.
This is indeed RPG the game, everybody.
Yeah,
RNG the game. RNG the speedrun, as it were.
Yeah, RNG the speedrun. Because apparently letters and words are hard.
They are. And Ghidra has it out for pancakes, man. Ghidra has it absolutely out for pancakes.
Yep, Ghidra.
Look at that! Are you serious?
Oh man, just targeting
now,
over.
This is really cool. This is something you're going to get to see here. Pancakes died before his action got to go off, but at the same time, Kylie's arrow, Kylie's life went off. And because of that, Pancakes was raised from the dead and still took his turn, which I think is a really nice touch.
It is. That's one of the
see it again right now.
One of the more interesting programming aspects of this game, because it remembers what you put in, because you initiated the action, so it queued it up.
Yeah.
So therefore, even though you had died, it didn't matter. You were able to still cast life, and it was a part of the stack. It's almost like Magic the Gathering. And another cool thing here, it says, what, good job, kid, or something like that?
It says go, in the trees behind that tree, and you can see the go right there. But it's written in trees, go on, kid. Which I think is kind of funny.
I always forget that it says "go on, kid," because it's like I wanted to say something more.
Everyone wants to say "good job, kid." It's like, why not?
And everybody likes to call you kid, even though you're going through and beating all these monsters and saving everybody's butts. And it's like, you're gonna call me kid, really?
Yes, we are.
And everybody,
I believe Pancakes is actually supposed to be a kid.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that his sprite is legitimately wearing plate armor, and I would like you to show me a 13-year-old that can wear full plate armor.
Yeah, Goon Kid. There you go. That's what it says. It doesn't say go on. It says Goon Kid. It's like, there you go, you silly goon.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so we're through that tree, and we're going to make it on over here to the town of Windia. And as far as why we're here, not a clue. All we know is that this is what's on the other side of the tree, and hey, maybe we'll find some information about the whereabouts of my grandpa's brother, so we can get that $5 that we're after.
And something tells me that no matter what you do, those clouds are still going to stay there.
Oh, those clouds will stay there until the end of time. But I went ahead and bought a locket there, which is going to give me some status ailment defenses. And then I'm going to go over here and grab the best bombs in the game. The Mega Grenade.
Yeah, because apparently people keep grenades in their basements, like, just because.
You don't?
Oh. Actually, no, even worse. You went through this guy's basement, said, hey, dude, I just broke into your house. And he's like, oh, snap. Here's some grenades.
Yeah, here's some grenades. Thank you. All right, we're going to talk to Dr. Wiley here. And Dr. Wiley's like, well, the wind has stopped blowing. So I can't really do anything for you. If you'll help me get the wind back, that'd be great. So we are going to head over here to Mount Gale. Yes, I'm sure you're laughing at the fact I threw a grenade right after I talked to him. We're going to head over here to Mount Gale, and we're going to climb on up. I love the music.
The best part is everybody who runs this game, without a doubt, knows why the other person's laughing, because it's something we've all done.
Yep.
Like throw a bomb or something random like that. It's like we know what happened at that point in time because we've all done it.
Yeah. And now the funny part of how combat works in Mount Gale. Now at the very end of the Living Tree, I picked up a spell called Meteor. It is probably the second strongest spell in the game. I'm gonna finish them off with this because they put them to sleep. With the exception of this situation here where, Pancakes got put to sleep. Every single encounter, including the boss, can be defeated by having Pancakes cast Meteor and Kylie cast Arrow on a single target. So literally for the remainder of... Whoops. Everything is fine. Nothing is messed up here.
The funniest part is you said whoops at the same time that I saw you try to jump over a spot you can't jump over. So it was just timing. That was funny.
It was perfect timing. So regardless of me constantly messing up combat here, eventually I will show you that literally all I'm going to be doing once I can get it right is getting that set up, and I'll be mashing A throughout the entirety of the rest of the combats, including the fight with the Horseless Headsman. coming up here. All right. Arrow on a single target, please and thank you.
Yeah, and this is one of those areas that's like really easy, really quick. Not poorly designed. It was relatively well designed. They made it quick. The fights weren't difficult, and like this is actually probably one of the more story appropriate sections of this game, where this game doesn't have a story much at all.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, you came here, I'm not the guy. It's like, yeah. I'm not the guy.
We're going to come here, we're going to fight a lot of undead, some vampires, and a headless horseman, Doulahan, whatever you want to call it. The boss's name is Doulahan. And apparently that brings back all the wind to Windia.
Brings back the wind or takes the wind away?
No, it brings it back. Yeah, I believe it's supposed to. Oh no, I forgot.
Yeah, because, you know, they took a long time to think of all the names for this. Fireburg, Windia. Wasn't the other one? Aquaria, yeah.
And you know what the name of the first town is?
Treeburg.
No, Forestia.
Yeah, Forestia.
I'm not joking.
Yeah. I love the fact that I actually get a chance to say it's the age of Aquaria. It's the age of Aquaria.
Fired.
I am totally fired. I don't deserve to be here right now.
All right, here we are. Now, this fight has the capability of going super fast or being my literal worst nightmare. Because Doulahan has the ability to one-shot you. He has a spell with the status effect of death. So, I do not obviously want that to happen whatsoever at any point in time, especially not to Kylie, because Pancakes does not have the ability to resurrect people from the dead. The life spell is over past Fireburg, which we do not do. So, we do not want to, and there's the death spell, and it missed. Good.
Yeah, that death spell is I think it has it's got a relatively low chance to hit.
Yeah, it's a very low chance to hit, but if it does, and if it's Kylie,
you're done.
You're done. And it really sucks when it happens to Kylie and Pancakes is at full health, because what ends up happening there is you're having to essentially wait. You're having to wait to die, which is just losing you time. And the death spell went off right there. Which really sucks, because I need Pancakes to succeed rather badly. To get his cast a meteor back, so we can get this. I love how the horse just face plants. The horse is done. It's like, I'm tired of this. Can we go home, please?
I already don't have a head. I was like, I'm gonna bury my headless body into the ground.
While the horse is doing its very best ostrich impersonation, we are going to continue to just wail on this Doulahan and try to get him done ASAP. I'm gonna take a risk here and hope that he attacks Kylie.
You know, and
he does.
And Doulahan is such a good equestrian that he leaves his horse behind and just immediately exits him from the game.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
That was actually a really kind fight.
It was, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, as bad as it is that Pancakes got death spelled, that's like best case scenario if it goes off.
So, we've returned the wind, and we're going to head on back here to see Dr. Wily, and he's going to activate the Rainbow Bridge. Because there's a Rainbow Bridge. Why isn't there a Rainbow Bridge?
Because reasons.
Yeah, sure. He's also telling us that his granddaughter's missing, You're going to exit out of here and head on up to Pazuzu's tower, or as I like to call it, the place where I just scream RNGesus take the wheel. We're going to tell her to go see her Dr. Wily immediately, and we're going to head on up the tower. Switch over here to those grenades, because these eyeballs hate me. These are beholders. You cannot use magic on them. You can only use physical attacks. You cannot do anything else about it. If you use magic, they reflect it. Period.
Yep. Slimes 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
But these are luckily slightly better than the slimes because they die pretty easily. So.
All right, and like this one here. Brutus should be exit.
Yeah, so as he's doing these fights, heading up this these stairs here, Pazuzu's tower has multiple floors, and there is best case and worst case scenarios in the fact of if you get floor 2, that is worst case scenario because that means you have to go through quite a few fights and
you literally have to go through the entire dungeon.
Yeah, you go through the entire tower. Go through multiple fights and have to talk to Pazuzu multiple times and get him locked on that floor. Floor 6, is the best one?
Yes, floor 6 is the best case option. So there's 7 floors total. The 7th floor is just the roof, and that's also where the finale, once you beat Pazuzu, that's where you go to pick up the chest and everything. Here's Pazuzu. He's going to appear after mocking us. Now this is 3rd floor. Pazuzu literally cannot come back to the 3rd floor. Oh, God.
Yeah, so, like, best case RNG is floor 6. That means you literally have to go through the fewest amount of fights. You go straight up to him. There you go.
Yep.
So, floor 2 is the worst. I believe floor 4 is the
from best to worst. I believe it goes 6, 5, 1, 4.
Yeah, 6, 5, 1, 4, 2. Like 1 is middle of the road because you can literally use exit when you know he's on there and go fight 1 to 2 fights and get to him.
Yeah, once you know he's on floor 1, you pretty much just go down to floor 2. Which getting back down to floor 2 doesn't involve too many fights. You flip a switch, you hit exit, you come back and fight him.
Yeah, so it's not quite that difficult.
So far, a lot of these fights have been extremely kind, so we're booking through here at a respectable pace. However, I did realize I forgot to pick up 1 set of bombs, so I'm at 26 bombs. I'm a little worried about that, but I think we should be fine. These beholders absolutely have to be killed with bombs. They're really the only thing I have to worry about using bombs on. And there's not that many of them in the tower, but there is a decent amount. Gotta be careful.
Yeah, in worst case scenario, they are susceptible to the same thing as the slimes, so they can also take the death spell.
Yes, you can use the claws, and the instant death can trigger on. So it is a backup. It's just not a very. It's not something you want to rely on.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not nice on time. It doesn't really save any time. It's just a good backup to be able to kill them. So. But yeah, with the floors, I'm actually pulling that up right now to take a look and see what the Pazuzu floor.
The Pazuzu floor.
Yeah, the floor, which is like best to worst. Usually, I want to add everything because I know 6 is definitely best and 2 is worst. Like that's just.
Yeah, because literally in the speedrun guide, it says if you got floor 2, go ahead, cry, reset, do what you need to do.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Floor 2 is the worst because when you talk to him on 2, he goes to 3. So he goes back to floor 3, where you have to go fight everything to get back to him. So it's like just the worst.
I did this fight wrong.
Yeah, it's for yeah, and even in the like speedrun, it talks about how it's literally one of the this is the hardest section of the speedrun. To understand where to go, what to do, even the best routing, like learning it and using the guide, it is so difficult to describe because of where you have to go and how you end up on each floor, and to describe certain routings, because there are certain sections that you end up at that you literally have the same set of enemy to fight, and in the guide it's like, yeah, you fight this enemy and you have to think about, okay, did I go south, do I go east, where do I actually go here? So it's by far one of the hardest sections of the speedrun, and it's the run killer.
Yep.
And it's so late in the game.
So right now I'm fighting the manticores, and these are legitimately some of the most annoying enemies in the game, because there's no simple way to deal with them, and I can tell you right now this is going to be a I'm gonna die fight. Well, maybe we'll see how it goes, but it's definitely not looking good.
Yeah, ooh, you missed the exit and the life. Yeah.
Because you don't want to use any other type of attacks to try to beat these guys, because it's just not worth it in the end. Oh, good. Yeah, it's not. Look. Life mists. Yeah, this is.
Yeah, that's the worst part about this. The life spell, having to use it on enemies, is that it actually has, I think it's about a 50-50 to miss.
It's not quite 50-50. It is not. I think it's like you got a 90% chance for it to go off.
Okay, so it actually is pretty high, because it seems like to me that it misses more often than hits, and exit saves my life. So
these guys are being mean to me today. Let me tell you what.
Oh wow, yeah. Oh man.
And there's another set of 3 right above this one I got to get through.
Yeah, because the tower, whatever your first fight is, all 3 of those fights in a row are going to be the same. So you don't get any difference in those fights.
Got through it.
Good. Ouch. Yeah, you dodged a bullet there. The petrify on Kaylee is unfortunate.
Yep.
But exit came through. Yeah. One good thing about this too, though, if you manage to get through the fight, your status ailment does not continue through the fight. Like
there are
two
status ailments that will continue, and that is poison and blind.
Blind. Yeah.
Poison and blind will continue through. I didn't mean to life pancakes there, but hey, I guess it works. As long as pancakes gets that off, there we go.
Yeah, good night to you, Trish. Sleep well. Do appreciate the good luck and the good words. It is definitely appreciated.
Absolutely. But for the most part, throughout Pazuzu's Tower, until I get Flare, which is the strongest spell in the game, I'll get that here a little bit later. But until I get Flare, the combination of single target arrow and exit is by far the strongest combination to be using. And then instead of arrow, using life on manticores.
Yeah, and one thing you'll notice is the mini bosses that we fight, like the Dullahan and things like that, end up showing up in the very next place that you go through. Like the squid mini boss was in the very next place you went to go fight the big boss. So They reuse the mini boss sprites often.
Oh yeah. And we'll see all the main bosses reused again actually later.
Oh yeah. In the final dungeon, you end up going through all the main bosses again.
Including the one for the fire zone, which we never did.
Yeah.
Actually get to see, you'll actually get to see that guy.
Yeah, when you speedrun this game, you kind of forget that you skipped that area, and you're like, you know, that was the boss over there, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you saying this the other day, Zombie, in all the runs that you've done of Mystic Quest, you've never actually gotten a floor 6, have you?
No, I have not.
Yeah, so let's hope for a floor 6. That would be awesome to get that on the
I've gotten a floor 5, but not a floor 6.
Yeah, I think I've gotten one, but I had to. I don't remember if I reset or anything. I don't remember what happened. I don't know. It didn't stick in my mind. I don't remember if that was just a first time going through or what. I don't know. Actually, I think it was on my casual run. I got a floor 6. I think I did not finish the casual run because I was doing my first time run through just to get an idea of the game.
Yeah.
And I got to Pazuzu's Tower, and that's where I stopped and ended up doing the speed run. And I got a 4-6, and I was like, well, isn't that the case? And on any of my speed runs, on the, like, maybe dozen that I've done, I've never got a 4-6 either, so none of my speed runs are for my PB or anything like that has that, so. Because if you think about the numbers, it's pretty stinking rare. It's going to be something just, like, out of this world rare to get.
Yeah, because, I mean, truth be told, I am actually still very, very new to running this game. I mean, I've probably spent about 6 months on it, but I've still not got anywhere near the level of effort put into it by some of the exceptionally, and I really just want to stress this, exceptionally talented runners on the leaderboards and in the community that run this game. I'm doing all right, you know, as far as running it, and this fight's going to turn real bad real quick. But you know, I'm still a far cry from being able to pull the times and the technique that people like El Megas or BDR do for this game. Those guys really know what they're doing.
Yeah, there's a lot of real, like, this game, you know, we joke and say it's RNG the game. It really is. It is, you know, heavily RNG dependent on a lot of aspects, but there's a lot of things you can do to control how good of a finish time you get.
Yep.
Menuing is something that really,
key.
Like, it means a lot. Menuing means a lot, and just even down to overworld like movement, even being spot on your overworld movement doesn't save as much time as menuing does.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's actually something you found out, Zombie. Like, I remember, you know, after watching you play this, you're like, there was a point in time you're like, my overworld movement is spot on.
Yeah.
And coming to realize that menuing means a lot. Just menuing is just hands down the number one thing if you want to get better at this. Knowing what to do in each fight to make the fights faster, as well as menuing to those things immediately, make it so much faster and just will improve your times.
I did the wrong thing for this fight. I was sitting here thinking, I think dual like AoE arrows will take care of a group of 6. No, it will absolutely. But I stuck to my guns. Yeah, I'm supposed to take it, you know, arrow, exit, arrow, exit, arrow, exit.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, exiting one of them. Like, fire is no longer used after a certain point in this.
Yeah.
Like, usually the mages are
actually, as far as fire goes, not even really supposed to have it for the speedrun. I take it as a safety because I know I run out of bombs.
Yeah, for the for the main character, for Pancakes, but
Oh.
that's right, Kaylee doesn't even have fire, I forgot.
I still had her arrow and AoE.
I completely forgot that that freaking Kaylee doesn't have fire at all. She just has wind.
She's not.
She's the
She is a windbender, an airbender. Windbender.
I was gonna make a making a Captain Planet reference. Wind.
Oh god. But yeah, this is what I should be doing after picking up Flare, and you're gonna see why Flare is one of the most busted spells in the game, next to Exit, obviously. Yeah, they're gonna try to kill me because they know what's about to come. Just mollywop, boom.
Yeah.
Done.
Flare's strong. Flare is very strong. Meteor is strong too. Just like they're very strong, but like,
okay. We got a floor 6.
I called it. I called it. You're welcome, zombie.
Thank you.
I called it, dude. I knew it was gonna happen. Marathon floor 6, dude. Marathon floor 6.
Now, as long as Pazuzu's not a complete pain in the butt, this is... we are now on PB pace.
Yes. Yes, that is awesome. For freaking floor 6 marathon, dude. That is awesome. Your first time floor 6 in marathon.
But SRX is lucky this way. This is for all the little fluffy kitties and puppies and birds and all that good stuff.
All the wonderful animals.
I'm actually going to be a little bit quiet so I can focus on this fight because Pazuzu can be a little bit of a pain in the butt.
That is what I'm here for, though. So Pazuzu has this thing where he likes to dab on you, and he will literally eat your face if you hit him when he does that. So you are in the point where you're going to heal and you're going to use seeds, and you are basically going to set it up to where you hit him on the moment he steps out of that. His eyes will go red, but Kaylee will go faster than Pazuzu, so you pretty much use her defend, heal.
She'll go faster usually, not always.
Yeah, most of the time. So you don't want to bank on her not going faster though. So in that instance, you're going to basically plan on Pancakes hitting after he comes out of his little dab move. So you'll see exactly what happens here. But this is definitely the perfect time to heal up and seed and everything, so... Yeah, Sarah Baron, it was a floor 6 Pazuzu. First time zombies ever gotten floor 6, and here at SRX, so... Marathon floor 6 is awesome. But yeah, that's going to put him on PB pace as well, so we're hoping for a PB here.
Alright, that's his last animation, if you want to call it that, before he dies, so got him close. I'm just going to sit here, I'm going to play it a little bit stooge. Alright.
Okay,
This is a bad
now.
spot to be in, because absolutely this is still far from over, because he hasn't done it until just now. Okay, good. I'd rather him do it to Pancakes. That's fine. Pazuzu does have the ability to petrify. And that's exactly why earlier on in the run, I did opt to pick up Heal for Pancakes. For this very fight, in fact, is why I picked it up. That way, if Kylie gets petrified, Pancakes can heal her of petrification.
Yeah, and that's picked up in the speedrun anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you can. It actually is not like... Oh...
It's not... No! You got him! You got him.
Yep.
That is freaking amazing. That scared me. That scared me.
Oh, this is
so
apparently still
much.
listed as Xenoblade Chronicles 2, by the way.
I already fixed it. Already fixed it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so we took care of Pazuzu there. Another stone showing up. Still not going to pick it up. Really don't care. So with Pazuzu gone, all the wind has fully returned to Windia, and maybe we can figure out how to find. I'm just going to throw bombs at it. I don't even care.
Oh yeah, because that crystal totally deserves it. Because like, in all honesty, man, PB pace, dude. PB pace.
Yeah, we're not out of the swamp yet.
Oh no, there's still plenty more to go.
I still got to focus a little bit here. But we're gonna come on back here and let this guy know that hey, we took care of Pazuzu. Your granddaughter should be back as well. Ruben shows up for no real apparent reason. But we're gonna try to find a way to get to this Doom Palace, this Doom Castle, where my grandpa's brother is, and my grandpa's brother, as I mentioned earlier, has my $5. Now, supposed to go find a Thunderstone for this guy's weird mechanical weirdness. I'm not going to pick up I'm not going to go all the way back to Firebird to get the Thunderstone. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these heal potions, and I'm going to buy 0 cure potions and just use them, and that gives me everything I need to beat the game. So, Halabajula, there we go. Let's go back here and tell Dr. Wily we got his Thunderstone. Miraculously, we just manifested it into our inventory. He's going to go fix his infernal machine and create yet another rainbow bridge for us to walk across to get to where we need to go. I'm going to exit out of here. I'm fumbling around on the menu because I'm nervous.
Yeah, you're fine. I do want to mention that one of the keys here is make sure you have Ruben. You want to go talk to Dr. Wily, as he is so aptly been called. You will hard lock.
Yeah, you'll essentially hard. Well, it's still actually no, it's still technically a soft lock because it's not going to lock up your game. It just prevents further, getting around. So now we got that, and we're going to come over here and we're going to talk to Kylie. Kylie's going to give us her dad's cap. And now that
I don't get that. You get the cap, and you'll see why I don't understand it later.
Essentially, Ruben blew a hole in Phoebe, another hole in Phoebe's basement to let all that water out, to flood the area down here, so we can get access to Captain Mac's ship. Captain Mac is Kylie's father. We're gonna go to Captain Mac's ship right now and reclaim it. Sadly, it has been taken over by oogie boogie ghosts and ghouls and goblins and creepy things. So we're gonna take care of that, I suppose.
And this is also the moment to mention too why Exit has a weird function when it comes to that overworld deal you were talking about. Because when you're coming back and you use Exit from here,
yeah, I can't technically use Exit while I'm here. I have to go back through that teleport in order to properly exit.
Yeah, because it'll do some weird exit thing. It doesn't break anything. It's just time.
Weird. It's just weird.
Yeah. So, but that this is probably one of the fastest dungeons, quote unquote.
Yeah. There's very few fights. This fight right here, okay, this is what I want to see. I want to see 2 of these Thanatoses. Because all I want to do here is flare and defend, and it's done. That's literally the fight. The other fight I could get is a Manticore, Thanatos, and Beholder. I don't want to mess with that. If I see that, I run. And the thing is, here it's really hard to run from fights. You'll constantly see, like, you can't run, I'll just get beat on. Doesn't matter. I want to keep running. I do not want to fight that. And here it is. And speak of the devil, and they show up here. I'm just going to keep trying to run, because it is not worth it. I could fail running 5 times, and it's still going to be quicker in the end than trying to fight that.
Yeah, because a lot of it's got to do with the fact you really don't have a good method of even single target getting rid of the beholder. You can't use magic on it, so and it's got to do with the fact that like you can't really using exit on the manticore like works, but it's like there's too much involved with taking out this 3.
Yeah, it's way too.
Yeah.
That second Thanatos just tried to put Pancakes to sleep there and failed miserably because of that locket that I bought when I first got to Windia. I'm immune to sleep now. Deal with it.
Yeah, right. Because the locket plays a wonderful tone that keeps you awake.
Sure. And here's the last Thanatos pair I have to deal with. Hopefully, good. All right. So we're good on that note. We'll make it through this just fine. Because I only have literally one more fight to do in this dungeon. It's a set of demons, and it's usually 3 demons, or 3 gargoyles rather. And it's just a matter of casting life on one and flaring the other 2. And
yep.
Be through with it in no time flat. Flare, life 1. Of course, life does have the chance to fail. And it did, so this is going to be a little bit more tricky. No worries, because I'm going to get this flare off, and then I should just be able to white with Ruben, and white should finish it. If you're wondering what is white, this is back in the SNES days where Nintendo was very much afraid to have religious symbolism in games. White is holy. Holy is, of course, a really popular spell in the Final Fantasy series, and white is pretty much
Yeah, and that is pretty much correct, Shadow. It's not even just that they have the weakness, but there's 3 different weaknesses involved there. So, and now you're gonna get to see why I'm confused why the hat was given. So yeah, you come in and you say, "Hey, look, that's my captain's hat," and she shows up anyway.
Yeah, she's just out of the book. Like, how'd you get here?
So yeah, like, here's my hat. Oh, look, my hat. Oh, cool. She's here anyway. So yeah, that hat was pointless. She's gonna show up, and then Ruben's gonna be like, "Ow, I'm dead." So
this whole thing is bonkers, absolutely bonkers. We're gonna head back into Windia, and we're gonna head into this inn. And Ruben's definitely just not feeling too good. Hey, here's Phoebe. Phoebe's here, everybody. Woo! Everybody say hi to Phoebe. And Ruben's like, "I'm gonna go get some rest. I'm feeling pretty bad." And Phoebe's like, "Okay, so your grandfather's brother is in this castle, and you want your $5. All right. Promise you I'd help you. Let's go do this." So she's going to join me. I'm going to stay the night in the hotel to freshen up. And we're going to go talk to Captain Mac here, who lets us know how to get into the Doom Castle. So now we know how to do that. And we're literally going to head into it. Head back into Windia. And head up here, go back to that teleport, get back on that boat, and sail for our final dungeon, Doom Castle. And the music in Doom Castle is pretty awesome, albeit it sounds very much like Crazy Train by Crazy Train was Crazy Train Ozzy, or was that Black Sabbath?
That was Ozzy.
Okay.
Ozzy was solo whenever he did Crazy Train.
Okay.
But yeah. On top of that, why does everybody always have to be dramatic whenever they fall?
I know, right?
I'm gonna spin and be like, oh, dead. Sure, okay. Like, people can't fall in this game without being overly dramatic about it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And yeah, we are in the final dungeon, and on really good PvP pace right now.
I'm just gonna do this.
You're gonna go ahead and do marathon strats.
Yep.
I don't blame you.
Wow. Yeah, I just flare whited, but it didn't matter because one of them just decided to suicide bomb me, so that works.
Yeah, that's the thing that happens.
So I am going to take the safety strat here You lose about a minute doing this, but there is a shield I can drop down here and get that does protect me from petrification.
So, you know, the argument here is you lose a minute getting it. So, yeah, you lose a minute getting it because you have to kill this thing. You have to go back and climb all the way back up, all that kind of stuff. Doing it for a marathon is safe. That's actually, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So, on top of that, you can arguably lose more than a minute later just because of crappy petrification. So, preventing yourself from being petrified in this is not a bad thing at all. So, exit the Manticore, wipe the Thanatos, and Beholder, killing the Thanatos, and then...
that is completely feasible. It's just, there's some risk involved with it. I was just reading the message there. It's like, yeah, that could work. But still, it's just way too risky for my taste, considering how much of a pain in the butt that fight is.
Yeah, like, even in the world record holders, like, walkthrough, they just tell you to run. Like,
now, we're back to fighting the first boss of the game, which is really, really fun. However, this time I have exit, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this big T-Rex just not exist anymore. There's only 2 bosses in the game that allow you to exit them. This one and one that's coming up, so kind of funny.
Yeah, because the argument that I make is you didn't have exit before. So the game just didn't program it like you had it. So it's like the programmers forgot, oh yeah, you're going to fight these guys again.
Yep. I also do want to point out that I'm almost 3 minutes ahead of pace, and that is also taking into account the fact that I did stop and explain how the underflow trick worked. I just realized that. It's like, oh, I did do that, didn't I?
That's the time save of floor 6 for Zuzu. That's literally the time save of floor 6 for Zuzu right there.
Yup.
Like, floor 6 is so much time saved. Like, you just literally, it's ridiculous, man. Because anytime, and that's also the difference of talking about why the tree, the giving tree is literally the longest dungeon. Because there is no time save there. You cannot take time.
It's just what it is.
Yeah. Just world's longest dungeon for a reason, and it's the most boring dungeon too. It's just awful.
All in all, though, like, even with all the game shortcomings with the RNG pretty much ruining certain runs and what have you, I still don't think I'd have it any other way in terms of I did it again. Oh well. I always keep forgetting I can just jump over at that one part. At any rate, I still absolutely adore this speed run, and while it makes me mad sometimes, it's a silly fun game to play, even casually. Yeah, it's simple. It's a watered down RPG. If you're a hardcore RPG fan, you're gonna feel like it's watered down, but it still has its very interesting charms, and I dig it.
Yeah, I mean, the world record holder is Elmagus, and we've mentioned him quite a bit. He is like the premier RPG runner. He runs all different kinds of RPGs: Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, this, and he runs all these different games. He runs what's the other one that he is always running that I see? Lufia 2. He runs that. He runs golly, what is that? I want to say the main character's name is Will.
Oh, Illusion of Gaia.
Illusions of Gaia. That is the other one that he runs quite a bit. Just
I haven't seen him run Illusion of Gaia. I'm sure he does.
Yeah, he actually does it like. That's one of the ones that he just pulls up in the middle of like waiting for a run or something like that, because he just practices it just for fun. It's really crazy. But you know, the fact that he spent the time to do this, and he is like the premier RPG runner, is telling. It's like there's a place for this game. It's fun. There's a lot to do with it, and yeah, it's RNG heavy, but it's like, yeah, and I agree with you, Shadow, that I find it amazing that the best minds have failed to find a way to manipulate Pazuzu's floor. That all these games
DDR Noob's been trying, like, and others have been trying, like in the Discord, because I believe DDR almost found a way at one point, but it just seems so convoluted and crazy that they just couldn't get it to be consistent.
Yeah, it wasn't speedrun worthy. It's one of those things where all these other games like Final Fantasy 2 or Final Fantasy 4, the speedrun of that is there's an RNG manipulator. There's a number that you aim for, and you actually look at like your seed, so to speak, and you will manipulate how many steps it takes and things like that. Like everything has a step manipulator. This obviously doesn't have a random encounter, so you really don't manipulate that.
Yeah, there's really no way to manipulate that.
So there's no like actual number attached to it. And that's kind of what's appealing to me, is the true RNG aspect of like Pazuzu's Tower. The thing that I don't like is that it's so late in the run. And exiting out of these two bosses, boom, killing them off. I love that I can hear your split.
Yeah.
Just click.
Just click.
Yeah. I know that ended well. I heard the split.
It could have ended like a smidge better. I almost gold split that.
Hey, that's fine.
Strangely enough, I have no gold splits here. Not even in Pazuzu's Tower, strangely enough. That was not a gold split.
That's
weird.
That's mind-boggling. That's mind-boggling that that's not a gold split.
I only barely didn't go. No, actually, I don't know. It's weird.
I'm wondering if maybe because it was just, your PB was so... I guess...
I'm pretty sure essentially what had happened was there were probably some shortcomings. The fights leading to it. Yeah. I know those Manticores gave me a little bit of help.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. I think overall the reason why you're missing gold splits is because of just
talking to you and these wonderful people sitting here hanging out with us.
Yeah,
I'm distracted.
Explanations
and you know what?
and
I would
things like
have
that.
it no other way though.
Exactly.
Don't you do it, you weird genie person! Leave me alone.
Yeah, marathon safe strats and stuff like that, and that's no big deal. That's kind of the reason for this, to build love for the game and stuff like that. And that's what we do. We're here to have fun. We're here to enjoy this, and we're here to raise money for our fur babies, our furry friends.
Indeed.
And
the best of causes.
Yeah. And like there's so many causes out there, and it's hard to pick one sometimes. And I'm glad that we picked such a worthy cause.
Indeed.
Now, this is something in this that you'll see him do. You can skip this Cerebus fight, or you can just do it right now. I've found in my runs that it's just faster to go ahead and get it out of the way. So
yeah, because that's setting it up so I can quickly escape out of here a little bit later.
Yeah, that's interesting, Shadow. From what I understand, the RNG of Pazuzu's floor is based on the frame when you talk to Pazuzu, with the seed based on the cartridge. That's wicked.
That's terrifying is what that is.
Yeah, that's very terrifying. It's like, I wonder what that means for a ROM then. Like, that means...
It would have to seed whatever cartridge the ROM was ripped from.
Yeah, so that means the ROM you have is actually 4/6 of the water frame.
I'm gonna keep going my way. I didn't mean to have Phoebe on arrow. Oh, no, on auto. No worries.
Yeah, cool spike. No worries, man. we're on pace for a PB here, as well as we are on well ahead of time. We're way ahead of time. No worries on that.
Absolutely, we're having a good time is what we having.
Absolutely.
Whether this be PB time, ahead of, estimate time, doesn't matter. All in all, it's still good time. I take good time any day of the week.
Since I am technically the host as well as a restreamer here, I'm going to go ahead and say, listen, there is a donation link at the bottom. We are here to have fun, but we are here to raise money as well. It's for a great cause, the ASPCA. There's a link down in the bottom there. Please, if you feel so inclined, give your donation, and feel free to put a message on there. There are incentives out there as well for future games that you can either put future runners through an amazing hell, and they'll look forward to it and love it. So please, help out the fur babies. They need it, man.
They do indeed need it.
So, seed based on the cards is one thing that's manipulable. That is such a weird word to say, but there's a way to tell. There's no way to tell which frame is going to hit 4-6. Yeah, that's the scary part. Boom, split. Like it.
Got the Hydra down. That was, of course, what would have been the boss fight for the fire area had we done it.
Woo, Firebird. That's kind of the thing that makes me laugh about this game too, is that every town can almost have a song alongside of it, with Firebird being like Duckburg and Aquarius.
I can see it. As weird it is, I can see it.
Yeah, it's lack of originality in naming.
Oh, no.
This room can be one of the scariest rooms. If you're not careful, you can fall.
Yeah, I need to run away. I forgot to seed myself after that fight.
Oh, rip.
There we go.
Yeah, luckily though, even with confusion and stuff like that, running is not a problem, so...
Like I said, I'm still very much a novice at this speedrun. I've learned a lot from guys like VDR New, Omegas over there in the Discord. I still make tons of mistakes, and it's usually around this area where I'm like, I'm messing up on small parts, etc. But it's fine, because like I said, whether I still get a PB or not, doesn't matter. I'm still having a blast with this.
Oh yeah,
and as long as those Cerberuses, while adorable with their little white flag waving tails, as long as they don't cast death on me, I don't mind. They can cast death, and I don't like it.
Yeah, that's funny. That is such the biggest con. We swear. Oh man, I never noticed that too. The far right head has this really derpy look on its face. Next time you get the Cerberus down to low health, check that out.
Oh, they have very derpy faces.
The far right one in particular, though.
I'll keep an eye on it, because even though this guy's about to get one shot, you'll still see it for a little bit.
Yeah, it's goofy.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? Friggin' Ed, the hyena from Lion King.
Yeah. Ed. Yeah. Funny enough, why is Ed always the name for the derpiest characters?
I'm not sure.
Ed, and Nutty. That's
they're all derpy in that one. Oh boy.
Double D is not. Double D is just a real
You know, I had one request from the Cerberuses, and that's not to cast death.
And there they go.
Yup. They can also cast Petrify. I forgot about that. I think the best bet here is for me to single target fire and knock it down to 2, so that I have less of them using moves. And then the flare goes off.
Yeah, Double D is a dork. Double D is like I'm just trying to think of what word to use for him, and dork might actually be the right word.
I mean, that works.
And freaking Eddie is just a yeah. He is the manipulator. I'd argue that he would be
some of these fights need to be done. Oops. It's totally not 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
my
exactly.
brain is working just fine.
My left side brain.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not yawning. You're yawning. Oh man, yeah. Resist the urge to yawn after hearing the word yawn.
It's okay. We gonna make it. We gonna do. I forgot the seat again. I even knew in my head. I was telling myself in the back of my mind as I was talking to you guys, like I need to see after the fight.
Yeah, and you know, while he's going through some of these fights that you've probably seen before, on deck we got Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden coming up. That is definitely next on the list. And after that, there's Ninja Ryukenden 3, Zone of the Enders, and moving into the morning, going into Mega Man X4, Mega Man 10, the Mega Man Sprite game, and even further down, Hello Kitty Roller Rescue. So quite a few cool games coming up, and a couple of really odd games. So and of course, without, you know, SRX, the Speedrunning Expo, doing this for us and hosting and allowing us to run these great games, you know, we wouldn't be here. So thank you to the SRX staff and crew for allowing us to do this. It's been a blast.
Oh, absolutely. This is my first ever marathon that I've ever been in, and I have had an amazing time so far telling you guys the silly story of, you know, Pancakes and his grandfather's money that he owes him.
See, Eddie reminds me of the guy that's going to become a pimp one day and be very bad at it. I just, like, I can't, I can't think of any other thing, and just, like, he's going to be the guy that ends up, like, being the pimp for the eds. It's like, okay, Double D. Eddie, thank you for the fun tonight. It's like, that's what happens. That's gonna be what it is. They
Thank goodness this is a late night stream.
Yeah. Hey, I'm still being as family friendly as possible.
This is fair. This is completely fair.
Just because they have to Google the word pimp does not mean that it's not family friendly.
No. Alright, so I'm probably gonna lose a little bit of time on this one just because these fights have actually been kind of rough.
Yeah, this there can be only a zoo area is pretty mean to use. I've noticed that.
However, we are still at this point. I would say we're about 5 minutes away from time. So
that's great. It's still on PB Pace though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That's great. And again, like, Floor 6 Pazuzu's Tower did that. Because we, you know, being marathon safe, you know, taking the time to describe, that's awesome. I it's great doing this stuff for a marathon and being marathon safe and just showcasing these, but for somebody to get a PB, that's awesome. I love it.
Alright, so Zoo is very much like Pazuzu, or Zuh, however it's pronounced. He brings friends with him at the beginning, though, is the main difference. We're going to go ahead and take care of those real quick, and then we're just going to hop straight to Flare and White Spam. And he's going to be doing pretty much the exact same thing that Pazuzu did, only he doesn't quite give us as long to do it. Pazuzu did his little blocking move every 5 turns. Zoo does it every 4. So you definitely don't get to get away with smacking them for long. However, we are doing far more damage than we did to Pazuzu because of white. So typically, as long as I can get this off the way I get it off, the second he uses his blocking move, which is right now, he's already in the final stages. So, got to get this next little bit here. And next up, we're going to speed on Pancakes, and we are going to cure with Phoebe. Because we need to get everyone back up to a decent amount of health there.
As far as like boss redo fights are, the first two are by far like easier than the other ones. But this one, comparatively, like Pazuzu's fight is not easy. That fight can go very wrong. This fight can also go wrong. But it legitimately like is infinitely easier than the Pazuzu fight. So, oh man, he got okay. And that's one of the reasons why. Yeah, I heard the split. But that's one of the reasons why he can hit
I just went with it. It's like, I'm not going to bother resurrecting him. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to wipe and hope for the best. I will gamble a PB on this, by God.
That's the way to do it, because you got the good cycle to get him down. Your boss fights in this particular run have been phenomenal.
I wouldn't call them phenomenal. Decent.
Comparatively, though?
Comparatively to my my runs from the past, yes. They've been great.
That's my point. Like, for PB pace, that's what's doing it too. Your boss fights have been really good.
And Pancakes has made it to the top of Doom Castle. All he has left to do is to hunt down his grunkle, his great uncle, his grandfather's brother, who has Pancakes' $5. Boy, his bedroom's weird.
$5.
So he has the $5. We don't want to hurt our grunkle, though. He's family. So we're going to heal him to death. With a cure. This one's very funny because we're going to cure and defend. Then cure, then cure, defend. And, cure. How amusing! Is that all you can muster?
Yeah, and great programming game.
I know. We're just healing him to death, doing absurd levels of damage. Alright. So we'll do that and defend one last time. And... time! Probably should have warned that time was coming up, but that always comes quicker than it seems to. And all those stones we left laying around, including the one that we never picked up in the Fireland, all come together, and it turns out that our grandfather was a crystal the whole time. But he gives us the $5 he owes us, and lo and behold, our journey's over.
And you know, considering that so I hit it a little late. I was off by 3 seconds, so you finished at 2:25:08 on mine. But dude, you PB'd, didn't you?
Yep, that is some peanut butter right there.
How much of the peanut butter did you get?
Shaved off 1 minute and 39 seconds.
That is awesome.
Yep, gold split on the last split. Why not?
Congrats on the PB, man. Zombie Punk TV hitting the freaking PB for SRX Marathon. That is awesome. So,
Pancakes is going to do one last world tour, saying goodbye to... I see here Phoebe's dad is trying to dig a hole back to his bedroom. He didn't learn his lesson, it seems. But we're running around, we're saying, saying goodbye to all of our friends that we made along the way, the people that helped us. Ruben's over here just jamming some rock and roll. And, of course, Ninja Steve's over there by the bar, if you didn't catch him, just off by himself. But we're going to go, and we're going to sail off into the... Yes, we're going to sail off into the distance, saying goodbye, goodbye, everybody, goodbye, 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 goodbye to you too, Phoebe, it's wonderful, goodbye, goodbye, Kylie, nope, don't touch me, and goodbye! I always love doing that little laugh.
And they also say Captain Pancakes.
Yeah, so. Captain Pancakes, sailing off into the wild blue yonder. But wait, we're not done yet. One person that we didn't say bye to. Our most trustworthiest of friends, Ninja Steve. Everybody give it up for Ninja Steve. I know y'all gave me some GGs and all. I'm not the hero here. Ninja Steve's the hero. Everybody give it up for him, and thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight, watching this run. It's a blast. It was a blast to do it for you guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for, whatever you can give, if you have gave for the ASPCA. It's been amazing, guys. Thank you all so much. And I have been Zombie Punk TV. This has been my co-pilot, Unknown Availability. He is, of course, doing the hosting for the remainder of the night, I do believe. But he was. I wanted him to be my co-commentator on this one because he knows the run. It's been fun, been a blast, and everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you all so much for hanging out.